Hey guys, it's David. Today I wanted to do just a quick walkthrough of my front garden landscaping. It's been a while since I've shown it, so I wanted to show you all the changes that have been happening. So let's get started. Alright, let's start with looking at this huge Euphorbia amok. I planted that about 4 years ago, and it was like maybe a foot tall at that point, and you can see how much growth it's put on. I actually had 3 of them total in here, and then 2 of them I transplanted earlier this year to different parts of the garden, which was a pretty big project. They were a little bit smaller than this one, but they were definitely very large to move, and I'll show those in a bit. And I also have taken out quite a few trees in my front landscaping this year. There was one really big olive, and then a hedge of, I believe, around 17 what's called wax leaf privets. And they were just so large, and it was so much maintenance for me to keep them constantly trimmed up. I decided to have them removed and instead put in some smaller types of shrubs that were just easier for me to maintain. So also, unfortunately, the garden is not looking quite as nice right now because there were so much larger things taken out, and what I have them replaced with haven't quite grown in yet. But I still wanted to share how everything is looking. It's a beautiful mangave. Looks like it might potentially bloom next year. This is Trichocereus epicenter, has beautiful, beautiful flowers. This, I believe, is agave striata. It's starting to get into the pathway. So I might leave it a little bit longer, but also thinking about moving that. Golden barrels are looking nice and golden. The Dasrillion longissimum is growing quite a bit as well. And if you can believe that, I believe it's a Pilocereus azures. I planted that from seed many years ago, and it looks like it's 3 to 4 feet tall now. This is a Euphorbia medusa's head. I transplanted it here earlier this summer. It was totally getting buried by another plant, which you can see was kind of on this side, shading it really out. So it needed more space, so I decided to move it over here. The teddy bear koya, mammillaria, nice color on that. And here's a euphorbia. I forget exactly what the cultivar name is, but if you can believe, I've had this plant about 10 years. It's not that big, and it's never really seemed to thrive for me. And I've moved it several times, trying different things, and it's never really done that well. But I moved it here, and I've noticed there's like quite a few new little pups around, so I feel like it is actually liking it here. I also kind of think it actually wants more water than I give it, but I'm glad to see that it's finally starting to thrive a little bit. Then here's my water barrel. We haven't got any rain quite yet this season, but I think it's going to start soon. Succulent planter with mostly Senecio and Opuntia violaceae Santa Rita. Nice purple color. Ignore all of my drip lines. I have quite a bit of work to do with that. Then moving over this way, we have some aloes. And this is a euphorbia. It looks like it's desperate for the winter rain to come. The color is a little dark. Opuntia. And in the back, we have a yellow-spined Cactus. That's matured nicely. It was such a small cutting when I placed it there, but now it's putting on some height. And speaking of height, the agave Mission to Mars put on these enormous bloom stalks this year. It was so amazing to see them and how much growth they put on in 1 year. They're pretty much all done, but I did notice this little stalk right here has a few little flowers left on it. These are monocarpic, so they will die back soon. Agave Victoriae Reginae. Try to get an overview of the whole garden. These are all the mangaves. You can see all the trees I had along here all were removed. And then right in the middle, I had a big olive tree, which I've taken out. Let's go back the other way. Then here's a lantana that I recently planted. That aloe I moved slightly. Then back on the other side, a dicea toward the bottom, a grevillea toward the bottom, and then a trichocereus cactus in the middle. And then this plant right here, I've noticed a lot of browning on the leaves, and I believe this is because of the tap water, unfortunately. Yucca, another Senecio, which has gotten quite large. Some weeds, always weeds. And then here's an Aloe Diablo. I like the dark purple on that. And then here's a grevillea that I recently pruned. So unfortunately, I pruned all the flowers off of it. And then here is where the olive tree used to be. And then one plant that I transplanted here, the lion's tail, unfortunately, so far it looks like it possibly died when I transplanted it, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time and see what it does. And then here's one of the euphorbia that I transplanted that was closer to the door. That seems to have taken. Now let's walk down the other side of the pathway. On this side, I see I have this little aloe that put out some nice fall of blooms. This area I do want to redo soon. I really struggle with it because of this window right here. It is south facing and reflects a lot of extra light down in this area. So it's a little tricky to deal with finding the right things that will thrive here. Here's an aloe greeny eye that's in bloom right now. Looks very nice. Then down this way, you can see a lot of open space I have. This is all where I had a whole bunch of trees all the way around. And then I had them all taken out and stump ground. So now I have all this extra room to work with. That's the plant that they make manuka honey out of. Lots of aloes. That's a hybrid. This is an oleander that has dark red flowers. I'm hoping that this will fill up the corner nicely. Here is a geranium and some more aloes that I moved over to this area. And then we have a mangave down there. And then up here we have a California lilac, hoping that that fills out the area. And then a few new plants over here, a rosemary, cycad. Over here we have my ice plants. Here's another grevillea. This one does still have some flowers on it. I did also prune that one. And then looking back the other way, we have another yucca with the yellow. That's very nice. Let's continue down the pathway. And then over here, here's another type of yucca that I recently transplanted to this place. I have, moved quite a few things around recently. These have been here. These were in front of the olive, but I was able to remove the olive without disturbing them. And now let's go down the path. And let's go take a look at the other side. Then over on this side of the driveway, you can see the Palo Verde has put on quite a bit of size. And I actually did prune off quite a few branches this year. And then let's just see what's been going on over on this side. Aloe Cameronii. The other Opuntia violaceae on the other side of the driveway. And then down this way in the corner, you can see the third euphorbia. That one's doing well so far. And then this is a bougainvillea that I transplanted over here. I actually thought it had died after I transplanted it because it looks so bad like right away, right after transplanting it. But now it has resprouted, so I'm happy about that. Then under the Palo Verde is some puya, a type of bromeliad. And then a ground cover grevillea over here. This blooms with yellow flowers in the spring. It's very pretty, and it's also put on quite a bit of size. Love the purple color on these this time of year. Very pretty. You can see I have the matching one on the other side of the driveway. And now we're back to where we started, at the sun garden by the front door. So this is how my garden has been looking in the fall of 2024. There is a lot of work to be done, but I wanted to show you how everything has been looking. Thank you guys so much for taking this walk with me through my garden today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.